Have you ever had one of those mornings where your meds feel off and you cannot figure out why? You took them on time, you didn't miss a dose, and you did what you always do. And yet something just feels different. Now imagine this something you may drink every morning, a common sweetener, something your body does automatically every day, and even the way you position yourself may be all affecting Parkinson's in ways most people never think about. And the last one? The last one is so ridiculous sounding that I almost didn't want to tell you because once you hear it, you can't unhear it. So stay with me because this is Who Knew Week around here, part one today, part two coming up right after in the next episode. And by the end of this, you're going to say it again. Who knew?
Welcome to Living with Parkinsons. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Well, all right. Welcome back to Living with Parkinsons, the good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community. And if you're new here, my name is Bryce, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's at the age of 40. And I've been living with it now for over 15 years. And this week around here, this is Who Knew Week. Part one today and part two is coming up on Thursday. Because apparently Parkinson's has enough weirdness for a two-parter every month. And these are not the big obvious textbook things. These are the sneaky things. The kind of things, hiding in plain sight that can affect your timing, your routine, your morning, and your whole day. And most people never even think to connect them. So as we go, if one of these makes you stop and say, wait, what? Then drop a hashtag who knew in the comments because I love seeing those. And I've got 4 for you today, 4 of them. And every one of them has a grand reveal. So let's get right into it with number 1. Okay, here we go. Number 1. This is one of those things that can be sitting right there on the breakfast table. And most people never would think twice about it. Because why would you? It looks healthy. It feels healthy. It's one of those things that just seems like a good decision. You pour into a glass and you feel like you're taking care of yourself. And that is exactly why this one is so sneaky. Because if your meds feel off afterwards, you don't usually blame this. You blame Parkinson's or you blame progression. You blame a bad sleep. You blame it on stress. Blame it on the weather. Blame it on the moon. Blame it on the rain. I know. But you do not blame the innocent little thing sitting there minding its own business beside your toast. And maybe you should at least watch it. Now, here's what's going on. With Parkinson's, timing matters. And we know that. That's the whole game. Levodopa has to get through the stomach, move into the small intestine, get absorbed, and then finally get where it needs to go. And if something changes how fast that happens, then the whole feel of your morning can change. Now, this is the weird part. For some people, something in this morning drink may actually help the meds get moving faster. And at first, that sounds great, right? Perfect. Wonderful. Fantastic. Let's all go home early. But not so fast. Because if your dose still only gives you roughly the same amount of good on time, then getting on faster can also mean you're going to notice yourself going off earlier before your next dose. So now, instead of thinking, wow, that kicked in quickly, you're sitting there, an hour later going, wait a second, why am I fading already? Right? And your next dose is still sitting there way off in the distance like it took the day off. Think of it like this. Imagine your medication is a train. Normally, it leaves the station, gets there when it gets there, and gives you your usual ride. But if something sends that train out earlier, great, you arrive sooner. But if the ride itself is still the same length, then you also arrive at the end sooner. And that's what makes this one so sneaky. It may not be hurting your meds. It may be changing the timing of your meds. And with Parkinson's, timing is everything. And the reveal? Orange juice. Yeah, orange juice. Who knew? Now listen, I'm not saying orange juice is evil. Let's not do the banana thing again. I'm not trying to get canceled by Florida. I'm saying that if you keep noticing your meds feel different when you take them with that morning drink, orange juice, watch the pattern. Track it a little bit because with Parkinson's, patterns are everything. And once you see a pattern, now you have something useful. And useful is a whole lot better than sitting there thinking, something's different today. What am I getting worse? When maybe, just maybe, breakfast just changed the schedule. There you go. If that one surprised you, drop orange or, hashtag who knew in the comments. All right. That was number one. Now on to number two. And this one could absolutely get the comment section going. It really can. Number two. This next one is the kind of things millions of people use every single day without even thinking about it. No drama, no caution, no second thought. It's common, it's normal. It's in a bunch of stuff. And because it's so ordinary, nobody really gives it much thought until Parkinson shows up and ruins another perfectly normal conversation. Then suddenly you're sitting there wondering if this completely everyday thing deserves a closer look. And here's why people even started asking the question. This is a sweetener, and it breaks down into things including phenylalanine. And phenylalanine belongs to the same broad family of amino acids that matter because levodopa uses related transport systems to get to the brain. Now, that does not mean that this is some giant proven disaster for every person with Parkinson's. It just means there is a real reason people started wondering about it. Think of it like this. Imagine levodopa is trying to get through a busy doorway, and then some other molecules show up looking like that they belong in that same line. That doesn't automatically mean chaos. It just explains why people started paying attention to the doorway. And that's what this one is. Not panic, not certainty, just interesting enough that it deserves a raised eyebrow. Because with Parkinson's, not every question needs to turn into a 5-alarm fire. Sometimes the smartest question is just, does this affect me? And that's different. And that's much smarter. And that's why I actually like this one. Because it reminds us that real life with Parkinson's isn't often black and white. It's gray. It's pattern-based. It's trial and error. It's, I wonder if there's something here. And the reveal? Aspartame. Aspartame. Yeah, that common sweetener. Who knew? Now, again, I'm not telling you to sprint to your kitchen, tossing everything in the trash like you've joined some Parkinson reality show. I'm just saying if you notice something feels off or on your meds and you use stuff with aspartame in it all the time, diet drinks, diet sodas, that may be a detail worth tracking. And not because it's proven to wreck everybody, but because little details can matter a lot more with Parkinson's than we ever want them to. There you go. Now, if that one surprised you, drop sweetener or who knew in the comments there as well. Now, before I get into number three, really quick, this is exactly why I built this community. Because these are the kind of things that they don't always show up in the usual conversations. These are the little weird everyday things. The kinds of things that happen at breakfast, on the couch, or in the middle of your routine, my routine. And they make you stop and they make you go, what is going on with me? And if you've been thinking about joining the club and getting on the list, the link is in the description below. Come and be a part of it. It's a free club, and you can track all the stuff there. Because Parkinson's is strange enough without trying to figure it all out by yourself. So come and join us. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel. If you want real talk and real life with Parkinson's, this is the place to be. Come join us, and hopefully you'll love it. Okay, ready? Here's the next one. Number three. And this one is weird, like beautifully weird. And honestly, it's one of my favorites because it's so ridiculously sounding. Here's number three. This is one of those things that if it happens to you, you probably never thought to connect it to Parkinson's. You probably just thought, that was odd. And then you just kept going. Maybe you didn't even tell anybody because how do you even bring this up? Who starts conversations with like, hey, weird question. Has your body ever failed at something so basic that you just sat there annoyed at yourself? Yeah, that. Now, this is where Parkinson's gets cheeky because it doesn't just go after the big stuff. Sometimes it messes with the little automatic body patterns. things you do every day without thinking about them. Until one day, you do think about them because suddenly something that should happen naturally doesn't quite happen naturally anymore. And you notice it. And once you notice it, you really notice it. And here's why. This thing is not just some random little reflex. It's actually a coordinated body pattern tied into brain and arousal systems that involve dopamine. So when the dopamine systems are off, even something this basic can get weird. Think of it like a wave. It starts, it builds, it peaks, and it rolls all the way through. That's how it's supposed to work. But for some people with Parkinson's, that wave kind of stalls halfway. It starts, it gets going, and then sort of just gives up. Now you're sitting there trying to finish the job yourself, like even your body forgot how the endings work. And what am I talking about? A yawn. The yawn that gets stuck. Yes, even that. Who knew? And I'm sorry, but that is both annoying and kind of funny. Because, of course, Parkinson's would somehow get involved in yawning. Like, really? Like, we can't even yawn in peace now? Oh, my God. Amazing. Very efficient. Thanks for that, Parkinson's. But honestly, this one matters because the relief isn't in fixing it, the relief is in naming it. That moment where you stop thinking, what's wrong with me? Why does my yawning always stop halfway? And start thinking, oh, okay, so that's a Parkinson's thing too. Yep, you're not alone. That matters. Now, if you've ever had a yawn just quit halfway and leave you hanging like an unfinished sentence, then drop yawn or hashtag who knew in the comments. I promise you, you will not be the only one. All right, here we go. Number 4, the last one, the fourth one. This is the one. This is the one that sounds so ridiculous that most people would dismiss it immediately. And yet there is a real reason that it might matter. And when I tell you what it is, you may start looking at your routine a little differently. And I'll tell you exactly what it is right after Carmen's Care Partner Corner. Yeah, I know. You wait. All right, here you go. It's now time for Carmen's Care Partner Corner. And here's what my wife Carmen wrote for me to read to you today. Sometimes the most frustrating Parkinson's moments come from things that sound too small to matter. A drink, a sweetener, the way someone positions themselves, even something automatic that they never used to think about. And as a care partner, it's easy to brush those little things off at first because they seem too ordinary to make a difference. But with Parkinson's, little things can affect the feel of an entire day. So instead of assuming something couldn't possibly matter, try asking a better question. Have we noticed a pattern? Because sometimes the clue is not dramatic. Sometimes it's just consistent. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Carmen. You know, she's such a good setup person for me. That was awesome. And if you like that one, please give Carmen a heart in the comments. But that's exactly what this next one is, this number 4. You know, a clue that sounds too small to matter until it does. All right, if you're ready, this is number 4. And again, it's so absurd. It's so absurd saying that if you that if you told somebody over coffee, they would probably stare at you, like just stare at you. Because if I told you that sometimes the difference between meds kicking in sooner or dragging their feet might come down to something as simple as which side of the body you're lying on, you'd probably think that I'd lost it. But stay with me because this one is wild. And I'm going to give props to Nancy from Comfort Linden because she brought this up on a shaky fakey game and I had to look into it. Here you go. Levodopa has to leave the stomach before it can absorb properly. That's important. And body position can affect how quickly the stomach empties. So now this gets interesting. Because if your meds usually take 30 to 45 minutes to kick in, and something helps them get there faster, that sounds like a win, right? And it is at first. But if that dose still only gives you the same rough amount of good on time, then getting there faster, getting to the on sooner, can also mean you notice yourself going off sooner, while your next dose is still way too far away. That is such a Parkinson's insult, isn't it? Even this helpful trick comes with a catch. Think of it like this. Imagine your medicine is trying to get out of a parking lot. Okay? On one side, traffic moves. On the other side, everything backs up. That's this. Think of it. And the reveal, it's your body position. Even something as simple as lying on your right side instead of your left. Who knew? Who knew that that would even matter? Now, I'm not saying this is magic. And I'm definitely not saying everybody needs to go flop on the floor immediately like some kind of confused medication experiment. I am saying, though, if your meds are late and your timing is off and you're noticing patterns, this may be one of those weird little hacks worth trying. Because sometimes it's not the pill that's changed. It's the route that the pill is taking through your body that changed. And if that one shocked you, drop right side or hashtag who knew in the comments. So again, on your right side, your levodopa will absorb faster, get into your system faster. So if you're running late or you forgot your meds and you want them to get into your system as fast as possible, break them up into a couple pieces because it absorbs faster that way. Take them with a shot of orange juice or fizzy water and lay on your right side and watch how fast those suckers get absorbed in your body. But remember, just like I said, here's the catch. You only have so much time on that levodopa to your next dose. That's why we take more than one dose a day. It doesn't stay. So the quicker it gets absorbed, the quicker that your time runs out. So be ready for that. Okay? But who knew? That's pretty crazy. Who knew? I love these. I love these who knews. They're amazing. All right. Here is your Bryce-ism of this episode. If you're ready for it, here it is. With Parkinson's, apparently your meds are not just dramatic. They're also picky. They're moody. And now, somehow, taking travel advice from orange juice, fake sugar, a half-finished yawn, and whichever side of your body felt like cooperating that day. Who knew? Who knew? All right, well, which one hit you the hardest today, right? The morning drink, the sweetener, the yawn, or the body position one? Tell me in the comments because I read every one all the time. And remember, this is Who Knew Week, right? We do it once a month, so part 2 is coming in the next episode. And if this episode made you stop and go, wait a minute, nobody ever told me that, share it. Share it with somebody because somebody else out there may be blaming themselves for something that is actually another weird little Parkinson plot twist hiding in plain sight. Well, there you go. Until next time, I want you to keep showing up. I want you to keep laughing, and I want you to keep doing life today. I love you, and I will see you on the next episode. You go out there and just do it.
Parkinson's may be part of your life, but it doesn't get to define it. Thanks for listening to Living with Parkinson's, the good, the bad, and the reality. If this episode moved you, helped you, or reminded you you're not alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want to go deeper? The Inner Circle is waiting. Monthly Zoom calls, 24/7 community, and a direct line to Bryce. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and keep doing life today.